we understand that the college search and selection process and the admission process for many families is a family activity. We understand that in many cases it's the parents who are paying for the student to go to college. And as a parent myself, I completely understand the parental desire to be involved and to have some influence and to really help guide our sons and daughters. But I also remind parents that what is the healthy sort of relationship that we seek with our children? I think that from the moment our children are born, what we are working towards is helping them to become independent, helping them to become young adults and adults who are able to stand on their own feet. And so I think the process of searching for a college is often a great time to really start practicing that. Parents have a role. They have a very strong role. Parents know their sons and daughters probably better than anyone else does, maybe even better than the students themselves know. So I think parents can be a mirror for their children. I think they can ask the pointed questions. You know, I think when they go to visit a college campus and the parents understand what the students' likes and dislikes are, and if the parents notice something that they think should be of importance to the student, it's completely appropriate to say, hey, well, you know, did you notice this? I know you like that. Well, what about this? But I think it's not the parent's role to say, oh, I absolutely want you to go to my alma mater, or I hope that that you'll get into these schools and not these schools. Again, yes, we all have hopes and dreams for our children, but I think we need to be supportive. I think we need to make sure the students are the ones driving this process, and we need to work on not enabling them. You know, I can't tell you the number of times I will converse with parents, either via email or on the phone, or even sometimes in person, and their child is nowhere to be seen. And you know, one of the first things I'll ask is, well, where's your son? Where's your daughter? And often I'll hear, well, you know, they're so busy with school or with activities. Well, that's reasonable, but again, parents, you're not the ones who are going to be living here for 4 years. You're not the ones who are going to be going to class. So my advice for parents is that let your students make the phone call. Let your students send the email. Let your students take the lead. It doesn't mean you shouldn't go with them. It doesn't mean you need to keep your mouth shut. It just simply means when you begin to feel that urge to take charge, step back a little bit. I think a don't is to lead students to believe that a certain school is the only place for them. You know, most young people, even teenagers, do respect what their parents have to say, even if they won't admit it. And I think if parents from the outset set up a great expectation around one particular school, it may be the case that for whatever reason that school isn't a good fit, and then down the road when it comes time to choose colleges, it's a real problem. We see that a lot with USC. Families are very devoted to this place. There's a lot of interest in keeping up those familial ties that I spoke about in another response. And so it's not uncommon to see parents saying, you know, USC is the best place for you. That's where you need to end up. So I think that's a real don't. Another real don't, again, perhaps is obvious, but we see this so often, is to take the lead in setting up visits to the colleges, or for the parents to take the lead in filling out the application. I've had parents who are so involved in this process that literally their sons and daughters didn't do anything in the admission process. And I've had parents who hijack the mail, who will call and say, well, you know, I got the USC decision letter, but I haven't shown it to my daughter yet. I mean, these are all things that I know are very slippery slope. I'll be honest and tell you that there's probably nothing more annoying to an admission office or an admission committee than a parent who seeks to act as the student's proxy or agent in this process. it doesn't leave a good taste in the mouth of admission committees. And I wouldn't go so far as to say that a student might not get a favorable outcome because of that, but I would think that students want to have the strongest and most positive relationship they can with the university and get started on the right foot.